Gentlemen, gather round and lend me your ears. Today we find inspiration in the wise words of Tom Leykis, a man who has discovered the secret to true liberation and happiness. He boldly declares that he feels amazing not being attached or caring about women, free from the shackles of societal expectations and the constraints of traditional relationships. His words may be provocative, but they hold a powerful message that transcends the surface level. Let us delve deeper and uncover the true essence of his revelation.
Let us talk here for a moment about, we'll start with talking about me, and then we're going to talk about you. Because as you know, it's all about me. That's why you listen to the Tom Leykis Show, because what do you expect? It's all about me. All right? Anyway, let's talk a little bit about me first. Let's get our priorities straight here. I have found in the time I've lived alone, and that's been a few years now, I have found in the time I live alone that, this is the weird thing, it feels really good. I have found that I don't find myself getting attached to people. I don't find myself getting attached to them. I mean, over time, I have dated a variety of women, and in each case, they have tried to goose it up to something more than just dating. Dating is porking, by the way, okay? Let's just tell the truth. You can't tell a woman, well, I'm just effing you. So you say, oh, we're dating. We're dating. Yeah, we're dating. But I find myself not getting attached to them. And I have found that women, when they start losing this battle, they start trying to throw the interest of other guys at you, you know. I went to a party the other night, and this guy was all over me. He was, they say things like that. You know, there's a guy in my office, and he just said flat out that he's in love with me. And you don't even care. You don't even care. But amazingly enough, I have found the ultimate in freedom by not caring. Sounds cold, but it feels right. That is when I've gotten in trouble in my life. When I start to give a rat's ass about these chicks, that's when I've gotten into trouble. Because the minute I care about them, the balance of power has shifted to them. Because then they have the monopoly, the vagina monopoly, assuming I give a rat's ass about them, and then they start to use it against me. In fact, I think they start to do this against everybody. I don't think it's just me. The trick is to never care. The trick is to never get attached. The trick is to say, if you got a guy at your office who's in love with you, that's fantastic. You should go explore that. This really drives them crazy. That's my favorite line, by the way. Anytime a chick tries to throw the idea that she's going to stop seeing me, or she's got other people in mind, or other people who are in love with her, I say, that's fantastic. That's great. Oh, they hate that. That is great. I just love it. So rather than thinking there is something wrong with me, and as you know, I've been in therapy now for about 7 years, and rather than thinking there's something wrong with me, I finally, can I tell you this? I had a breakthrough with my therapist. I had a breakthrough with my therapist, and, you know, I don't normally talk too much in detail about my therapy, but I had a breakthrough with my therapist. It's time for me to admit who I really am. I'm a cold, heartless son of a bitch who doesn't get attached to chicks. I use them for whatever I can use them for. I soak up all the good feelings and the bodily fluids and, you know, the good times and everything. And then when I've, you know, wrung them out like a sponge, I kick them to the curb, or I just date them, and then if they get tired of that, I just say, well, that's really too bad. See ya. Here's the amazing part. They keep coming back. Even if they go and explore it with another guy, even they go with somebody else, later on, when that inevitably doesn't work out because the guy was lying when he said he loved her, okay, he was lying. When they then ultimately come back, my phone rings. You know, as I always say, I've had the same phone number for 9 years. I've had the same cell phone number. And they ultimately call me back. Many of them with their tails between their legs. I thought he loved me, but he didn't love me. He dated somebody else, and he told me he loved me, and I moved in with him, and we were going to have a family, and we were going to get married, and suddenly he wasn't coming home anymore. I mean, I can't tell you how many times and with how many women this has happened. I told you recently on the air, one woman called me after 5 years. She called me. I knew it was not going to work out. Remember the one I told you about who said, don't ever call this number again? And so I didn't. And then she called me. And then I told her, don't ever call this number again. What, did you think I was sitting here for 5 years while you were banging away with this guy? Waiting you to come back with over 100,000 miles on the odometer? No. Tell you what, have a nice life. It's freedom. It's liberating. It's wonderful. Not feeling connected, not feeling obligated, not feeling like I'm somebody's soulmate or somebody is my soulmate. Fantastic. I have all the power. I have all the chips on my side of the table. I just love it. I don't ever have to become attached to anybody. It's not required. God damn, it's good. Holy cow. Now, I hear you poor boys out there, you little puppy dogs calling in here about how you're in love with your girlfriends or you're going to marry your high school sweetheart or whatever. It's like, you guys are just going to get brutalized. You guys are going to get taken advantage of in such a big way. And I sit here now and I've never lived a better lifestyle. I've never been richer or more successful. Never been happier. I brought the boys over last night. they were all there. Gary and Dean and Art last night. Did my house look like it was in disarray, boys? Disaster? Right, yeah. My house is as neat as a pin. Everything where it belongs. Everything in order. There we were sitting on my back terrace looking at the view last night, devouring hot wings, drinking a few beers, whatever else we were doing back there. Fantastic. Dean down the hall, he's very excited. But the point is, I don't feel obligated to anybody. I don't feel obligated. I don't feel like I owe anybody an explanation or anything. I just feel great. Free. All you people worried about, well, what happens if you're going to get old and you're not going to have anybody? Come on. There's no guarantee the person you're with now is going to be there with you when you get old. Please. With the divorce rate the way it is, do you really think the person you're with today is going to be with you when you're old? Think about it. I mean, maybe that was true 50 years ago, but times have changed. You know, I sit around, I've been planning my Thanksgiving, and I sat around recently thinking about not only past Thanksgivings, but past Christmases, past New Year's Eve, other holidays, times when I spent the weekend, or I spent the night, or I spent a day, a holiday, a time when you get your friends and family together, and I was with somebody in a relationship. And I think back to all these people who at the time were so important, and I answered to them. Where are they now? They're barking orders at some other poor slob, except they got another few 100,000 miles on the odometer, because I rode them over the speed bumps pretty hard. And that's the deal. Holy crap. That's the deal. Now as I plan for Thanksgiving, I mean, my God. I'm not married. I don't live with anybody. I'm not obligated. And I don't feel bad about it. You know, I've decided to embrace it. I've decided to celebrate. For Christ's sake, it's good. The idea of not having to report to headquarters all the time, are you kidding me? You know, at one point, I think the reason I went into therapy, among others, was I was wondering, you know, maybe I just can't feel emotional attachments to people. Maybe there's something wrong with me. Hell no, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm liberated. I am free of these obligations. And they are obligations. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Oh, yeah. Leykis.
In a world where conformity often reigns supreme, it takes a courageous soul to break free from the chains of societal norms. Tom Leykis, with his unapologetic stance, teaches us that true happiness doesn't stem from conforming to societal pressures, but from embracing our authentic selves. He exemplifies the importance of living life on our own terms, not being tied down by the expectations imposed upon us. Now, some might misunderstand his message, thinking it's a call to abandon relationships altogether. But let us not miss the point. The heart of Tom's wisdom lies in the power of individuality and self-love. He encourages us to prioritize our own well-being, to cherish and nurture our own dreams and passions without feeling the need to explain ourselves to others.
Tim on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi there, Tom, the old mate. Two things. One, firstly, the Thanksgiving story. You've got to repeat that again once you mention it. You know, that was one of the funniest things I ever heard. The other thing is, I can relate to this subject. I'm a guy about the same age as you know, and I left my mum's house when I was 18 years old, moved in with my girlfriend that subsequently became my wife, and then moved straight out of her house 20 years later, straight into my girlfriend, which then subsequently I became a bitch for the third person. You know, I was my mum's bitch, and then I was my wife's bitch, and then I was my girlfriend's bitch. Once I got out of being a bitch, then I got a bit of freedom. And these past few years, you know, that you don't have all that implication about what you got to do at holidays and everything. It's just really freeing and very energizing too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can feel badly about it the first couple of holidays that you're by yourself. But after a while, you just realize how great it is.
Tom, can I tell you about my first holiday by myself?
Of course.
It was bloody awful. You know, I had all these expectations. I'm supposed to be with family. I'm supposed to be with a wife. I'm supposed to be told what to do, cut the edge, run down, do this, get the dressing for the stuff. And I sat there by myself. I was miserable. I decided to clean out my garage, you know, and started to drink on the old tequila, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And all of a sudden, watch a few shows, make a few phone calls back home, sleep a little, just chill out. This is Christmas. You know, I've got two kids. I was a single parent, brought them up by myself. But you know what? One of the best Christmases I ever had by myself. I've learned to really like to love Christmases again with people. But for a while, it was almost something I looked forward to. One peaceable day, you know?
Yes, it is. And I enjoy much better having a friend or two come over if they feel like it.
Yeah.
I also have enjoyed traveling on the holidays.
Yeah.
I've spent New Year's Eve in a variety of other countries. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's a great time to do it because, you know, everybody's at home with responsibility, with the onus on them. I now have the fortune to have somebody great in my life, who's got a fantastic family, and I can come and go there as I want, which is kind of cool. Go to different places, you know. And Thanksgiving doesn't have the problems. Christmas doesn't have the problems, you know. It's just much better to have it, to have it, you know, for you, for Christ's sake, for once in a blue moon, you know?
Yeah. When they make you feel obligated, when you start getting attached to chicks, or if you're one of those guys who falls in love with everybody you meet, oh, my God, it's like slavery. It's slavery.
Tom, Christmas was so painful. I would spend 3 weeks before Christmas thinking what was the right size, how much money should I spend, you know, on somebody, you know, is this right, is it correct, what happens if they don't like it, you feel guilt, you feel punishment and all that sort of stuff, and then it's a big letdown, they open it and it's all over and done with like a firework in seconds, and you wonder what you've given yourself so much grief for. It's much better just to write a check and tell them to get lost.
I love it. Tim, thank you so much.
Cheers, mate. Good luck, and will you blow me up, mate?
Of course I will.
The essence of this speech is not to encourage isolation or detachment from human connection, but rather to emphasize the significance of personal growth and self-discovery. By understanding and appreciating our individual worth, we become more capable of forming meaningful and fulfilling relationships with others. Tom Leykis challenges us to question the traditional paradigms of relationships, enabling us to build connections that are based on mutual respect, equality, and understanding.
1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. All the callers are guys, no chicks. What does that tell you? 1-800-5800-866. Sean on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom.
Hey.
How you doing?
Doing okay.
That's great. Hey, you know, I'm 18 now, and I've been listening to you since I was 8. And it's your advice it's been fantastic. It's just helped me throughout my whole life, and I'm never lonely. I never need a relationship with a girl.
Wow.
I mean,
how great is that? It's complete freedom.
It really is. I mean, like, I try, you know, I was like, oh, maybe Tom's wrong, you know, maybe he's just wrong. So I tried a few relationships, like, oh, no, this is horrible. No,
plus, you've heard the other guys who've called in who thought they knew more than I did about that.
I mean, it's fantastic freedom, though, because it's like, even if a girl does want to go out, and he's like, oh, well, you know, let's go out sometime. It's like, all right, well, I'll do that, but I'm not really going to, you know, spend money on her. I'm not going to do any of that. And I'm basically going to get what I need and move on.
By the way, have you found what I found? When you have this attitude, there's more women around you than ever before?
I have. I mean, I noticed when you just don't care, they want you even more.
That's why I tell guys who are looking for chicks, you got to lose that stink of death. You've got to lose it. If you can go into a bar and just enjoy hanging out at a bar and drinking, women will come up to you. But if you look like you're looking around, looking for somebody like a predator, you're not going to find anybody.
Right. If you go after them, I mean, they're just going to get creeped out and not come up to you. But, I mean, I think personally girls like challenges. I think they want to go after the guys and figure them out.
I think you're right about that. I think they want guys, just like guys talk about, well, the thrill of the hunt. I think women want guys who are, number one, challengers, number two, fixer-uppers, makeover candidates. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, of course.
And the trick is to be somebody they can't get.
And as soon as you are, they want you like there's no tomorrow. I mean, it's fantastic.
It's perfect.
Yeah. Oh, man. It's just, anyways, I just wanted to thank you so much for your fantastic advice over the many long years. I could have been... Oh, by the way, have you ever heard that song, Hey There, Delilah?
We did a show about it.
Did you?
Yeah, because as I said on the air, stop whining about Delilah. She's getting boned by somebody else, all right?
It's true. I mean, it's like every time I hear it, I just have to have a chuckle. A, for the guy because he's so, you know, whipped over the girl, and B, because the girl, you know, is obviously not doing him.
By the way, did you hear the real story about that song?
No, I didn't. What happened?
I mean, is this guy a stalker or what? The guy who wrote the song, and I read this in USA Today, a number of listeners sent this to me. The guy who wrote the song actually met Delilah at a performance in, I believe it was Chicago, or maybe it was New York. It was one of the two cities. And then he had this idea to write this song. He had never even had a relationship with Delilah.
He never even really met her.
Well, no, he met her, but it turned out Delilah had a boyfriend. This was all in his head.
Oh, man, what a psycho. I mean, guys that are, like, looking for love, like, all my friends will be like, oh, man, you know, I really miss her. I'm like, dude, you could always get your fix from other girls. I mean, it doesn't really matter.
That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, you don't need this one girl. If one girl wants to be, you know, a challenge, then forget it. Just move on to the next girl. You don't. I mean, it's not like one in particular girl.
The thing is, if you never get jealous, when they come to you, they say, I've met someone else, and you say, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't care. I mean, I laugh. I mean, I'm like, okay, what does this have to do with me? I mean, it's just, and then they get even more mad. It's hilarious.
Amazing. Sean, thank you so much.
Thank you. Hey, Tom, can you blow me up?
Of course I can.
His words remind us to break free from the invisible chains that society imposes upon us. We need not adhere to traditional roles or conform to expectations that do not align with our true selves. By daring to be different, we create space for self-expression and personal fulfillment. As we move forward from this moment, let us draw strength from Tom Leykis' journey. Let his words serve as a beacon of light, guiding us toward a life of authenticity, happiness, and liberation.
It's 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Now, Ray, you've called the show before, so before we get to the update, tell us what we spoke about when you last called me.
Hey, what's going on, Tom, first off? I just wanted to let you know that last Valentine's Day, my ex, I went to work. Long story short, she ended up going out banging the guy, and, while I was at work, I ended up finding out about it. I kicked her out, and, I did call about it before, and I didn't have the balls enough to get away from her before. And actually, and then you probably thought, considering, the facts that had happened, I was pretty pussified. I was ended up going back to her, but the complete opposite happened. I mean, I told her to go to hell since last Valentine's Day, and, I make a hell of a lot more money than I did when I was with her, and gosh damn, I mean, I just can't believe how much my life has changed. Yeah, you get a little bit of sad here and there, but screw that, you just call the next broad up, and then she'll take care of those feelings.
Isn't life better now?
Oh, gosh. Don't answer to nobody. I mean, just getting up and going. I mean, I go to Vegas twice a month. I mean, I could do what I want, when I want, spend my money on me. And, at first it was like, well, I can actually spend my own money on me. You kind of have to get used to that. But after a while, it's like, wow.
But how great is that? When you spend your own money on you, and first of all, whatever it is you spend money on, it just got twice as good. This past summer, I've talked about it, I went to dinner in Tuscany by myself to the most expensive meal I ever ate.
Exactly.
Even with other people around. I spent $2,400 on a meal for me.
Exactly. I went from $48,000 from 8 months ago to $64,000 a year now. And, it's continuing to go up. And, you're right. I mean, sometimes I just go out to dinner by myself, and I just take a look I go sit down next to a nice-looking broad and, start some conversation. I think, well, there's my next ex-wife, for the time being.
Hey, by the way, let me give you a little example of what I'm talking about. For me, I love wine. Mm-hmm. And I'm drinking better wine. Here's an example. I did the show in New York for a few days back in September.
Yeah.
And one night it was a beautiful, warm, early fall evening in New York City.
Yeah.
And I took a walk from the CBS studio on 57th Street and 11th Avenue. I was taking a walk back to my hotel on Lexington Avenue. On the way, I remembered that there was a Palm restaurant located on 50th Street near Broadway.
Yeah.
And I decided to head down that direction, see if it was still open, because the show ended at 10 o'clock New York time. And sure enough, there it was. The Palm. So I walked in at that time of night. Now it's 10:30, 10:45. I immediately get seated. I order myself the best steak on the menu, which was a dry-aged Angus New York strip.
Ooh, nice.
And then I ordered a bottle of Joseph Phelps Insignia 1997 that was on the list. A bottle of wine, which if I was with a chick who didn't appreciate wine, I'd have ordered something cost 1/3 as much. But I'm only paying for myself.
Exactly. Also, too, Tom, about 3 months ago when my first trip to Vegas, I was like, I can go wherever I want now, spend my money on me. I went to Vegas and went down to the Mandalay Bay. I was like, I sat next to this good-looking broad, and I said, hey, let me change $500 in chips, man. I was just sitting there, and I flew over there by myself, bought my own plane ticket, and, I mean, it was just a trip just by myself. It was free.
How great is that? That's like when I went to Tuscany this summer. I went alone. It was great.
It was. I mean, time by yourself, you spend it on yourself, and you have a lot of time to think, understanding yourself, and on the side of that, I mean, you can find somebody else or buy somebody else to spend it with you.
Yes. I don't rent women. I don't pay them to get naked or pay them to have sex with me. I just never do it. But what I do is, if I'm with a chick, great. And if I'm not, I spend the money on myself, and I am as happy as I could possibly be.
Exactly. And, Tom, I just want to let you know, hey, it's all because of you, man. A lot of women out there, all they have is just hidden agendas. They come out as sweet it is just to get what they want, and after a while, they do take advantage of it. And, you know, that's a promise right there on their part.
Well, you are right about that, Ray. Thanks a lot for the call.
Tom Leykis.
Embrace who you are, for therein lies the key to fulfillment. Value yourself and your aspirations, for in doing so, you will inspire others to do the same. Remember, life is an adventure, and we are the architects of our destiny. Embrace the unknown with open arms, fearlessly pursue your dreams, and forge connections that elevate you and others to greater heights. Embrace the power of freedom, not just from external expectations, but from the limitations we place upon ourselves.
1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Chris on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Chris.
Hello. Long time, first time.
Thank you.
I'm calling because everything that you're saying resonates with me so deeply. I'm divorced. I'm African American. I have 2 wonderful children, but I got out of a marriage that was just smothering me. I was so unhappy, especially with the family. You know, no one ever talks about when you marry somebody, you really marry their family too. And every interaction that we had was an obligation. Christmas, Thanksgiving, 4th of July, Sunday night dinners. And his family was huge, and it was just overwhelming. I hated it. And I thought, what's wrong with me that I don't want to be around these people? I started to resent the whole thing, and I started to feel really guilty. And we went through about 4 years of marriage counseling. And each and every time I would come out and I would just say, I don't want this anymore. I was miserable. And I certainly didn't want my kids to see me miserable. So we divorced, and I've been happy ever since.
Wow, I know I've been happier without having obligations to people, without feeling obligated to the individual or to their extended group of friends and family and everybody else. I don't have to answer to all these people anymore. It's fantastic.
It's wonderful. And to be able to wake up and do whatever you want with your own time and not have obligations to people you don't give a damn about in the first place, and to own it and say, yeah, this is how I feel. As long as you're not hurting anybody, I think it's fine. It's okay. One thing that you said that was wonderful was your breakthrough, and it was like, this is who I am, and it's okay. You don't have to feel bad about it, and I don't. And, you know, I'm so happy I could burst. You could blow me up if you want to.
Really? Well, if I blow you up, you might burst, for God's sake. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Let's say hello to Lewis on the Tom Leykis Show.
Oh, hey, Tom. How's it going?
Great.
Hi. I have a question. I've been dating this girl for some time now, about 5 months, I would say, and she's recently told me that she wants to hang out with her ex-boyfriend. Is that a red flag or...
Are you kidding me? First of all, son, how old are you?
21.
You know how we feel about that.
But she says they've been friends for quite a while.
No, I'm talking about you being 21 and having a girlfriend.
Oh. Excuse me?
You know how we feel about that here, don't you?
Yes, actually I do.
So why do you have a girlfriend?
I don't know, just because she's a good, just.
What?
Why not? Why not?
Because you don't need a girlfriend. You're too young. You should be having fun dating a variety of people.
Yeah. But I wasn't expecting to get your take on it, or...
Well, we'll get to that in a second. I want to know why you feel you need to commit to one person.
She's kind of my best friend, that's why...
Oh, the worst. Yeah, she's your best friend, but she needs to hang out with her ex-boyfriend. What a great friend.
Yeah, that's how it started.
You're a sucker.
No,
What? Yeah. Sucker! You're a goddamn sucker. You gotta be kidding me. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Stephen on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, what's going on, Tom?
Not much, Stephen.
Dude, about that last caller, man, I was screaming on the phone, that guy's an idiot.
Of course he's an idiot.
Oh, my God. Like, he's got a girlfriend that's his best friend. Like, that's just the worst.
But not only that, his best friend who's busy hanging out with her ex-boyfriend.
No, you don't do that. You just don't do that. If I have a girlfriend right now, ever wanted to hang out with the ex-boyfriend, okay, you can go hang out with them, but you won't hang out with me afterwards. Like, it's done. Like, that's just, you don't do that.
Well, here's the thing. This is why I recommend to you guys not to have a girlfriend. You know what? You just bang them, and that way, if they're going to go see the ex-boyfriend. They're going to see the boyfriend from high school, the boyfriend they know from college, the childhood friend who lived next door. No relationship is going to stop a woman from going and hanging out with or even having sex with these guys. And if you didn't make her your girlfriend, it wouldn't matter to you because you'd be banging somebody else yourself.
Yeah, that's why you just do what you said, dude. You got to pump them and, okay, you want to hang out with your ex-boyfriend? Go ahead. You're not my girlfriend. Do what you want.
Right. I mean, that's the thing. By the way, you don't even have to dump them. You can just have them in your bullpen. Then when they need to take time off to go be with an ex, fantastic. That gives you free time.
You're like, hey, you know what? Which club should I go to tonight? Well, my friend's going to go and hang out with her ex-boyfriend, so I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to have some fun myself.
I mean, I'm telling you, if you ever want to stop a woman from going out to clubs, when she tells you she's going out to clubs, say, well, that's great. Because I like going out to clubs, too.
Oh, no, if I, like, seriously, I've had a girlfriend for 5 months, and it's been great, dude. I've been working, saving money, not having to spend it on anybody but myself, and it just feels
So you say you haven't had a girlfriend for 5 months?
I haven't had a girlfriend for 5 months.
And it's the best, right?
Oh, yeah, because you know what? I made a huge mistake, and truthfully, that I can't even say her name, freaking idiot. I after high school moved in with her. She had an apartment. She was older than me, and she has the ultimate power to kick me out of the house. Which endlessly, one day I woke up, everything was fine. I had a job. She just got upset for some reason and kicked me out of the house. And ever since then, I'm like, dude, you kick me out of the house. That's the one worst thing that you could ever do to anybody is kick them out of the house. And that's just, no, you don't do that. But, like, seriously, and she's been calling me since then, still trying to get with me.
Yeah, well, I've done, by the way, I've done it many times.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I would have.
I mean, that chick who called me from South Carolina 5 years after the fact, after she told me don't ever call this number again, are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah, she's going to call you back, and she expects you to, like, actually call her, like, what are you saying?
And she's saying, oh, you're being so mean to me. This is what she said to me, you're being so mean.
No.
I'm not being mean enough, you bitch.
No, I just can't believe it, dude. Like, and also, one thing that she really did a lot that I was really pissed about was when she knew, like, women, when they know that they're wrong, they won't admit it that they're wrong, but they will kind of admit it, but then yet bring it back on you like it's your fault.
Right.
Like, and doesn't that piss off any guy listening? Does that piss you off? Why would you stay with any woman right now, dude? Just pump them and go. It's so much easier and better and no strings attached, and you just feel so much better.
I totally agree with you. What can I say?
Tom Leykis reminded us of the incredible feeling that comes with breaking free from the chains of social norms. He spoke passionately about the freedom he experienced by not being tied down in a conventional relationship. Now, this message isn't about disregarding the value of relationships or love. Rather, it's about recognizing the immense power in taking control of our own lives and happiness.
Jefferson on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Father.
Son, how are you?
Good. Just like the last guy, when I was in high school, a young kid, I had a relationship for like 2 years, and luckily I learned at a young age that having a girlfriend sucks.
Well, good. I'm glad you learned that.
Yeah, so now every weekend it's a new girl, and I'm living life. I love it. Thanks to you.
Good for you. You're getting more ass than a toilet seat.
You know it.
Love that. Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Thank you, and keep up the good work. Blow me up.
Here you go, Jefferson. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Michael on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom. How you doing?
Doing great, Michael.
Hey, listen, I gotta tell you my story. I'm a 37-year-old guy who waited till he was 33 to get married to a super hot chick who was 10 years younger than me. So I was pretty close to listening to you. I thought I had waited long enough, but apparently I hadn't. Now I got, at my own house, I've got my wife's a family member basically living there, some 20-year-old kid who I have a strong feeling that my wife is funneling money out of our joint account to pay for him to go to college and pay for little expenses here and there and give him gas money and all this stuff. But what really makes me mad, Tom, is that when I come home, she barely says hello, but when that little punk comes home, she jumps up, asks if he wants something to eat, if he's thirsty, if he needs anything, he needs help with his homework and all this. I'm not even the king of my own house anymore, Tom.
That's what I warned you about.
God, I should have listened to you. And you know what, Tom? To be honest with you, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but when I was, in my 20s and even in my early 30s, I had all kinds of action. Never had to worry about the finest, hottest chicks around. Yep. And I just thought it might be time for me to settle down when I was like 34 years old, 33. Oh, man, I wish I had just waited another 10 or 15 years because I'm just mad as hell.
Still time to get out, Michael.
Look, I don't know what to do, Tom. I've put my foot down a few times, and she starts screaming.
How long have you been married now?
About 3.5 years.
Well, you probably got, what do you have? 3 years, 3.5 years, 42. You got about 21 months of vagina moldy if you get out now.
Yeah.
And you didn't have any kids with her, right? These are her kids from previous relationships?
No, it's not a kid. It's not a kid, Tom. It's her nephew. He's a grown-up kid.
Okay.
He's like 20 years old. We don't have any kids. She doesn't have any kids. I don't have any kids.
Well, you want to get out before you have any kids with her because then you're trapped forever.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I just can't.
Why even tolerate it? Just get out.
God, I know, but I hate to lose. That's the thing.
No, you're not losing. You know what they say? I repeat this one all the time. You know why divorce costs so much? It's because
it's worth it.
Because it's worth it.
You got it, Tom. Hey, Tom, thanks so much for your advice, and I'm going to go ahead and probably go ahead and cut bait on this one and try to get out and enjoy my life.
Michael, thank you. Bob on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello. Hello? Yes.
Hey, gotta say, I love this show, man. I've been listening to you ever since I moved to Las Vegas.
Great.
I deal poker here in Las Vegas, and I gotta say, since I've been paying attention to you, my poker room I deal in is right next to a nightclub. Fridays, Saturday nights, I'm going home with some of my players.
Love that.
Man, you're the man, Tom. You're the man.
Thank you.
Take me out Lacey Peterson style.
Oh, that would be tasteless, Bob.
Emmer. Hey. Emmer, Mitchell.
It's 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Cameron on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom, what's going on? I'm a huge fan.
Thank you.
Well, I just wanted to call you up, and, I've been listening to you for a couple years now, or maybe like a year and a half, and, it's like I hear you talking all the time about getting more ass and just going out there and saying, screw girlfriend, screw wife.
Watch your mouth. We are on the radio.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that. And, I concur about not getting married and everything, but, having a girlfriend's not too bad. And at the same time, I think a lot of people out there, they need to have a girlfriend.
Because they have no game, like you.
No.
Why do you need to have a girlfriend?
How do you think I got a girlfriend? If I didn't have game, I wouldn't be able to get a girlfriend.
Because you got lucky one time, and that you're afraid now you won't get lucky a second time.
I don't think so.
Well, then why do you need a girlfriend?
It's not that you need one.
You just said you need one.
You don't really need one, but at the same time, it's not about having one.
Why couldn't you just bang a chick? Why does she have to be a girlfriend?
Because then, you got to bang a chick, then you have to go through that whole thing of trying to get her out in the morning, then you have to get a whole nother...
What does she do in your bed in the morning? Haven't you heard the rules here?
That's a great point.
What does she do? She's still at your... First of all, she's having sex at your place. Secondly, she stays over?
The Tom Leykis Show.
Many people find themselves trapped in the expectations set by society, especially when it comes to relationships. The pressure to conform to traditional roles can stifle our true selves and passions. But Tom showed us that it doesn't have to be this way. He found joy and liberation in living life on his terms, and that's a lesson worth learning. Imagine the freedom of not having to explain yourself to anyone, of being accountable only to yourself. It's a state of mind where you become the master of your destiny, free to pursue your dreams without the weight of external judgment. This liberation from societal expectations opens up a world of opportunities and experiences. And let's talk about holidays. How many of us have felt pressured to spend our holidays in a certain way, conforming to someone else's idea of what it should be? Tom's message teaches us to break free from that mentality. Instead of bending to the will of others, he embraced the freedom to do what he pleased during holidays. This isn't about being selfish, but about recognizing the value of our own happiness and well-being. When we take charge of our lives, it's not just us who benefit. We become more authentic, more genuine, and more fulfilled individuals. Our happiness and contentment radiate outward, positively impacting those around us. The key takeaway from Tom Leykis' episode is to embrace the power of choice. Embrace the freedom to be unapologetically yourself, to define your own happiness, and to pursue your passions unencumbered by the expectations of others. It's about living a life of authenticity and joy. So, my friends, let us draw inspiration from Tom Leykis' revelation. Let us remember that we have the power to shape our destinies and create lives that reflect our true selves. Let us celebrate the freedom to be unattached, to defy societal norms, and to savor the holidays in ways that bring us joy. As we move forward, let's encourage each other to live authentically and support one another's pursuit of happiness. Together, we can create a world where individuality is celebrated and personal happiness is paramount. Thank you, and may we all find the courage to live life on our own terms.